good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you? That I don't think that he's good.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. This is an very shortly scheduled impromptu almost because we have weather where I am. School was called off. The field trip was delayed. It's going to be rescheduled. We don't have a new date yet. So since I was already off work, the children are not in school. We're not going on the field trip today. So I am here with you doing the Married to Medicine season finale. So I may not have any people during the live. That is okay because Team Replay, thank you, Team Replay. As always, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. If you come in during the live, Team Replay, thank you for coming in. This is our Married to Medicine recap. It's season 12, episode 14, Med Gala mishaps. And it's also the season finale. So coming off the high of the Jamaica trip, we are now back in Atlanta. Of course, they came back to Atlanta last week. So they just did a little quick thing coming back to Atlanta. I want to make sure everything is up and running. My sound is good. I'm so glad that everyone could join me if you come in. Team Replay, as always, I appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe. It keeps a young, growing channel in the algorithm. And it just helps me grow. I appreciate that so much. The hype feature is an amazing new feature YouTube has come up with. So thank you so much for that. And let's see, I want to watch myself live. I'm going to go off camera for 1 second because I'm going to, let me see. I thought I had some Married to Medicine backdrop. If I don't, that is okay. I may be able to find one later. But everything that I say here is actually for entertainment purposes. It's my opinion. Everything is alleged. I'll run a banner for a little while of that and just leave that where it is. And let's see if I have any. I thought I had some Married to Medicine stuff, but I don't know what I have saved. If not, that's going to be okay. We'll give another view, and then I'm just going to go off camera for a moment so that I can make sure that everything is showing up fine on screen. Again, thank all of you that are able to come in during my live. I appreciate that so much. And like, share, subscribe. If you're Team Replay, thank you. Hit the like. I appreciate that. If you get access to the hype feature, please go ahead and hype the video. You only get 3 per week. So I would appreciate having one. This was a full-size episode, everybody. A complete and total full-size episode. And let me just jump back on. Okay. So we start out with the little vignettes that we always have at the beginning of the episode. We get, what I do like, we get a complete preview of the entire season because there's a lot of things that happened that I actually forgot. Remember, we had that dinner with Dr. Simone and Simone Jr. and all of this. So, y'all, that was a trip. All of that went on. So that was really good. And then we have all of the ladies. We catch up with the husbands, Dr. Scott, Dr. Contessa. Looks like she's in a medical unit. It's a sprinter. There's a woman having something going on with her shoulder. I don't know if it's pain or if it's one of those frozen shoulders, but Dr. Contessa is saying she can prescribe ketamine. Y'all, I'm afraid of ketamine. The South African, allegedly, he admitted to being on that, and we see how he acts. And then that's what they killed Elijah McClain with out in Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, the neurodivergent young man who was on his way home minding his own business and had the police called on him because he had his head covered and earphones and just bopping along. And also my shirt, this is Melanated Mark. So this is the Exonerated 5. If you have not seen that, When They See Us is the Netflix Ava DuVernay, very touching film. And a lot of the Married to Medicine people, even Dr. Heavenly's talking about, if we have sons and people are dying and all this, but it is young Black men coming across the police. That is really something that can be really serious. So just Youssef, everyone that we saw on When They See Us, that is real life story, real life people. Youssef is actually holding a congressional seat. He is out of Harlem. He never left Harlem. Corey Wise never left the area. As a matter of fact, Jarrell Jerome won an Emmy that year for that work. The Oscars were kind of boring, but watch it for the scene from Sinners. You can see that on YouTube. The one in the movie that was so groundbreaking. That in and of itself, that movie's a masterpiece. And then also we get to see Misty Copeland, the prima ballerina, who is back fresh off of, she had some type of surgery, but we know how strong ballerinas have to be. Let me get back to Married to Medicine, y'all. I'm sorry. I was talking about Dr. Contessa and that ketamine, and it just took me somewhere else. And okay. And also I was stalling just to make sure I could see myself on screen. And I can. So again, this is a full-size episode starting out with a complete preview of the entire season. And Dr. Contessa, is that a new business venture, I wonder, that she has? It looks like they're a sprinter. She's always up to something. So this was really, really interesting. We get Dr. Eugene and Toya. Toya says, well, what do you want to eat? He doesn't really have a preference. He's working on his laptop. Are you charting, Dr. Eugene? I thought you were off. He's working on his laptop. She said, oh, you don't know? Chicken tenders and nuggets and fries it is. Kick, 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 kick. And Dr. Eugene just looks annoyed. Dr. Eugene is getting kind of annoyed with Toya's antics. And he has been for quite some time. So Toya, you might want to chill a little bit. You might want to chill. And let's see. I'm trying to see. All right. I apologize, everybody. I just want to make sure that I'm live. Let me stop stalling. I'm just going to get to this. Whether or not whatever's not right, I'll cut it out or take it down. All right. So Dr. Eugene and Toya at their beautiful home. Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon in their home. She's saying, wash your hands. And he's like, you don't have to tell me to wash my hands, buddy. And she says, wash your funky hands. I'm going to talk to you like Toya talked to Eugene. Dr. Heavenly plays too much. But Dr. Damon played into it too, y'all. He said, okay, which is what I think he would think Dr. Eugene would say. Y'all can't keep these people off your mind. You're a trip. But at least they don't have Similac on the counter anymore, because you never explained that, Dr. Heavenly. And we wondered about that for years. So next, the Lunch Bunch, which is Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie from season 1, episode 1. These ladies, short of the time when they were no longer friends, because Dr. Heavenly stepped between them and Dr. Jackie would not get off the fence as it relates to Dr. Heavenly. But they are back together at lunch. Dr. Jackie's complaining about vacation. Dr. Jackie, you are a miserable somebody. When you come back, you got to work twice as hard to be able to catch up from when you was away at vacation. So Dr. Jackie is complaining about the vacation to Jamaica. Dr. Jackie, you're a trip. You cute, but you're miserable. I love their scrubs. I think she's in her own scrubs. Simone's talking about, well, couples night was a little different when you had to separate out of the activities. Dr. Simone, don't start complaining now. Toya and Eugene did a great job. Nobody told old long, tall Curtis to show his tail. So that's what they're talking about. Curtis was the only one to show his tail, because all the other men had feedback for each other, and it didn't go there. Even Damon and Eugene didn't go there. So they are going to talk. They're talking about how they are going to get Quad to sit down with Jackie. Jackie's been texting Quad. Quad wants none of it. But Jackie says she didn't know anything about it until on the way to the airport, she overheard old long tall Curtis telling Steve, do you think I offended King? And Dr. Jackie's like, uh-oh, what's happened? And she got the backstory. And then Simone also heard from Cecil that Curtis lost his mind, started speaking in biblical principles, even though we haven't seen this man live biblically since he's been on our screen. But that's what he did. Simone's just laughing. Jackie said, I told him, I'ma always stand by you, baby, but I gotta tell you when you're wrong. Do you tell him that, Dr. Jackie? Because I don't know. I tell him privately. That's what she said. I don't believe she tells him privately. That's why old Long Tall Curtis shows his tail, because I don't think Dr. Jackie corrects him. Moving downstairs doesn't do it. So Dr. Simone wants to know, well, what's the conversation when you next see Quad, let's say at the Med Gala? She said, well, I want to personally apologize, and then I want Curtis to apologize to Quad and King. So they're all going to get together and apologize. I'll just skip forward. I wasn't impressed with it. I wasn't. Curtis was wrong, and Curtis deserves some discipline for what he did, and I don't think it went far enough. So Dr. Simone is saying that Quad is not one that will easily accept an apology. I always found this so interesting about Quad. Quad has done people wrong over the years, lied on people. Let's start out with the founder, the creator, Mariah Huck. Quad doesn't have to forgive anyone, but you're supposed to grovel and cry to her. So I'm kind of surprised that Dr. Jackie really seems pressed over this apology. So now we are hearing more about this Med Gala. It's officially founded this season because Toya filed paperwork for the 501(c), and she just put her and Jackie on as founders. She put the two of them alone on the website. Fairness to Jackie, Jackie called her out in real time. She said, we're going to have a problem with you doing this. Everybody needs to feel included. And that is something that this entire group has done. Met Gala is only about 3 years old. Y'all know what I think. I believe that it started because of Dr. Jackie misspeaking or giving her real opinion publicly, and she didn't intend to. What she did with Buffy, you are infertile, and then I apologize, done with it, and then being on Dr. Heavenly's channel, accusing Black women during pregnancy. You going to the doctor 25 times during the pregnancy, trying to get rid off work. And then she gave this no tear crying apology to Andy Cohen, when I feel like that's what Dr. Jackie feels. And Dr. Heavenly left that up because she wanted it to, I guess, sting Dr. Jackie a little bit. That's why I don't trust Dr. Heavenly as a friend. Even though Jackie claims her friendship, I don't see it as that. Next, we see Contessa and Scott. Dr. Contessa and Scott are in their room. Dr. Contessa and Scott are getting ready for the Met Gala, or she's trying on dresses. I was unclear, but it's inappropriate. It's got these cutouts all over the place. The color's pretty. It's a maroon burgundy type color. It looks really good on her, but she keeps saying, I don't even know how I got in this dress. And Scott is saying, I'm just waiting for the nip slip. Scott knows that something is going to happen in this dress. So they're talking about the Met Gala, complaining. Contessa is telling us that Toya wanted to put her stamp on it, TBH, Toya Bush Harris. And we find out that Toya's sending 1,000,001 texts, but she's not answering any questions or really meeting with the ladies to tell them or ask them for their assistance and let them know what's going on. So this is going to be a trip. We get a scene with Dr. Mimi and Steve. They are at home. Dr. Mimi is cooking spaghetti. Looks like light-skinned spaghetti. She's asking him, did he put sugar in his spaghetti? Steve's like, what? Dr. Mimi, do you usually cook? Because I don't know. She's saying, I want to be the traditional wife. I want to cook for them. I want to give everything. But she gets tired. Dr. Mimi, we know you run a whole business, have 2 small children. We see footage of them going on a tour of their new home. They're building their dream home. So congratulations to Dr. Mimi and Steve. I think this is wonderful. And Stevie is going to stay in his current school, but there's other activities he's going to participate in. Mimi is in confessional. She's saying the kids are getting along better. So we see this scene of Savannah kind of tickling Stevie. He's chuckling now, but you got to watch these two, because we know that it kind of turns sometime. They start windmilling. And I do like to see them together as a family. I think this is really sweet. We see Stevie at the table. He's eating that spaghetti. Mimi's holding the bowl, though. Mimi. And Stevie's watching his tablet. Whatever gets him to eat, this is fine. So we hear from the two of them in a confessional that Stevie is improving. He can walk through a toy section without tearing down the place trying to get something. He has activities that he does like. He did basketball. Basketball was a little too slow for him. So I'm happy to hear that with Stevie. They talk little bit about the Med Gala. Toya is not doing right. She's doing a lot of text between different people, and it's not what she should be doing. Steve's getting a napkin to kind of clean up, and then he's like, wait a minute, why am I cleaning up? You need to clean, because Stevie's finished his spaghetti. Stevie jumped down from the table, ran down the hall. Mimi's like, spaghetti all over the house. And they were just like, forget it, because we know how Stevie do. Again, Stevie's not on script. So I like the way that they show the family. We get to see Mimi's vulnerability. We get to see Steve supporting her. They have another confessional, and he ends up telling her that you are everything this family needs. I wrote it down because I thought it was really sweet. You're everything in our family needs, everything that I need. You are enough. Mimi chokes up and says, this is what I've been wanting. So, Steve, you were not saying this to Mimi. If you're saying it now, we'll take it. But don't only do it for camera. Say it off screen as well. You know, she needs this. Words of affirmation, give it to her. Because Dr. Mimi does work hard. And Steve also, I like seeing her with the kids and how he is with the children. Again, I love that. It's humanized them because I've not been a fan of Dr. Mimi. But I do like seeing her with Steve. Now, Savannah, I don't know where she was. She goes to the grandmother when things are a little too much. But we did get to see the flashback of her tickling Stevie. So I'm glad to hear they're getting along better. So we see Dr. Eugene and Toya. And Dr. Eugene changed that shirt. Dr. Eugene's in a shirt. They are moving into their building, and it is stained. Dr. Eugene, we don't want to see you like this. You should have put some scrubs on. So they're moving in. We see the boys. Hello, Avery and Ashton, 13 and 15 years old, y'all. They're walking through. Toya took it upon herself to get her husband the office space he deserves. It's close to their home. He can be home in 20 minutes. She said, my baby can be home in 20 minutes. This is not what Contessa was going to do for him. We get a flashback. This was earlier in the season. This seemed like a long season, y'all. A lot of stuff happened. Remember, Dr. Contessa and Scott were considering renting out a space to Dr. Eugene. Toya wasn't satisfied with it. No, you're not late. I just jumped in, Kiwan JTV, because this was impromptu. I was supposed to be on a field trip, but we have weather in my city. School is closed, so they're going to reschedule. So we are just at the walkthrough. They did the little vignettes, and then we're at the walkthrough of Dr. Eugene, and Toya have finally found his office space that's near the house. So you are not late. Thank you. So we see them talking about the office, that Contessa's office was going to be like off from the side, kind of near a bathroom. So she said her baby have a real office. Congratulations, Toya and Dr. Eugene. I like the fact that it's close to home. He doesn't have to drive 5 hours and then stay in a hotel. This is going to be really good for them. He seemed a little high strung working all these hours. This season has been tough for them. And Toya is always pretty insufferable, but this season more than most, in my opinion. So now she kind of snapping at him, and he frowning, and she's like, fix your face. And he said, well, you know, she's still doing a lot. She said, well, babe, she's trying to soften up. Babe, you know, I'm planning this Med Gala. We hear more and more complaints that this Med Gala production's trying to make it look like it's going to be a disaster, but the way Toya is running things, we don't know what's going to happen. So Kiwan J says, good morning, and that New Orleans Food and Spirit is a good restaurant. Sidebar. Thank you so much. I appreciate the sidebar. Thank you. I'm going to copy that and keep that. Kiwan J is helping me out as far as my spring break. We leave from New Orleans, and I asked for that. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we get Dr. Heavenly again. Dr. Heavenly is on the phone with Dr. Mimi. They're FaceTiming each other. Dr. Heavenly is complaining. Let's talk about this group chat. We get a confessional with Dr. Mimi. You want me to talk about the group chat? She's acting like she don't want to drag Toya, but Dr. Mimi, bring it on. We know you do. And you justified in this situation. So we see production is putting up all these texts from the group chat, and Toya, what about this? What about that? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? She's trying to out them as that they're not doing anything, because at the same time, Dr. Contessa has said, Dr. Heavenly has said, Dr. Mimi, Brandy, they've all said that Toya's not giving her expectations of what they want. Now, missing in all of this, Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie, you did this on purpose, as Dr. Heavenly said, to teach Toya a lesson. even though you lied and said you didn't say it. Yes, you did. You're wrong, and you're wrong. So now all this stuff is going on with the Med Gala. Mimi says, I have been in nonprofits and everything for 10 years. Mimi seemed like she'd be valuable. She makes a lot of good points as far as the finances go. She says that you got to know where the money is going. We got 80 text messages from Toya. And if you correctly filed your 5013C, excuse me if I get that, I misordered the letters. You're supposed to have a board meeting, subcommittees, finance plans, a planning committee, scholarship committee, since this year they're doing scholarships, and all that is supposed to be above board, or as old Long Tall Curtis would say, decent and in order. So Dr. Mimi knows her stuff. We get Toya and Eugene talking separately. She's like, Mimi talking about she got 10 years. She should be telling me that. No, Toya, if you had sat down and gotten to know all the ladies as you claim you want to, you would have known what their strengths were. Brittany was begging you to include her. And you saw Steve and Mimi, that $5,000 bowl really got some of these people shook. Jackie called it an ashtray. That matter of fact, at the luncheon with Dr. Simone and Toya. Dr. Simone says, Toya got to be able to round all these people together. She could have easily gotten a donation from Steve and Mimi because they gave $5,000 last year for the old ugly glass bowl. Jackie's laughing. It was kind of like an ashtray. It doesn't matter what y'all gave them. It was their intent. They wanted to be part of the group. They wanted to really support. Some of it might have been made for TV, but they got up off the $5,000. That's not anything y'all should be laughing about and putting it in their face. I don't really care for that because it came up a few times during the episode, and each time it just looks a little shady. Even Toya and Eugene are doing the same thing, and y'all the one going around begging for donations, so I didn't like that. Eugene and Toya are talking. Eugene saying, you've been cussed out over this. Nobody was, well, Heavenly was cussing her out, but Toya, see, Eugene starts at the middle. Toya, when Heavenly was giving her little spiel, she said, shut the F up, Heavenly. That is when she got cursed out. But again, Eugene, he's 10 toes down for Toya, right or wrong. I don't have a real problem with it, but in this situation, she's wrong. So we see flashbacks of that whole thing. Toya gives us a little more information. She's giving us more information than she's giving the people involved. And Toya's doing this thing where she's calling it a core group. I don't like this, Toya, because all the ladies, the veterans, the OGs, these new ladies are a part of the group. It is a core group. NBC Universal has hired them. They are here on Bravo with you on the same job as you. So don't try to minimize them, even though they're rookies or kind of new. So the rookies, of course, Angel and Brandy, and then kind of new, me, Dr. Mimi. So we're not going to do that. So she's saying that they are going to raise, I think she wanted to give $10,000 in scholarships, Toya. I don't know, because we know how Toya likes to spend on the party. I don't think the party should cost more than what they're giving in scholarships. But Dr. Jackie, y'all still have to blame her. She has put her in charge of this. Toya was claiming to Dr. Eugene, Mimi never offered to help. This is not true. We saw her offer to help. I don't know what space that was coming from, but Dr. Mimi offered to help. And then Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Mimi are still talking that Toya has a problem with leadership. She does. And she did admit to that. Also, she has a problem with the lack of communication. All these texts in a group text are not really helpful because nobody still knows what they're supposed to do. So next we get to Dr. Simone's house. Dr. Simone and Cecil are cooking, y'all. They have decided they want to do a redo of earlier in the season where they had Simone Jr. over and Miles and the two dogs. Well, actually, they went to the boys' house and they were supposed to give them some dinner. And it was really just a money grab from Simone Jr., for Simone Jr., from Dr. Simone. Cecil is cooking, y'all. He is seasoning something up. Now, this is how you cook, boys. You don't get an aluminum foil pan with the Reynolds thing still in it and put the food over it. So Cecil's earning his keep. He is cooking. The dogs are at the door. They meet Simone Jr. and Miles. Miles is still my favorite. Oh, hello, my favorite mother. Simone Jr. is pouring it on thick. He's hugging Dr. Simone. Simone loves it. That's her baby. She loves him. The food's actually in pans. It's looking good. Miles and Simone come to the table with their wine. These are adults. They seem to like to drink as much as the parents. So they all come to the table. And I think they got so embarrassed by the scene earlier in the season, as evidenced by them going live multiple times, trying to reshape the narrative. None of that means anything to me. This is what we saw initially. That was raw. That was real. I appreciate them doing that. And it generated so many different conversations. And people who were going above and beyond and maybe doing too much for adult children, I think got concerned and said, okay, wait a minute. They have to be able to eventually be pushed out of the nest. So I think that is really, I appreciate the initial scene. I really do. The do-over, that's fine too, but I'm buying what you did at first. So they sit down to eat. Simone Jr. Well, no, this is what I didn't like. That Simone opens it up. First, I want to apologize for saying F you, saying that I'm done. Simone Jr. accepts the apology. She wasn't wrong. She could have said it differently, but I don't think Dr. Simone was wrong. He earned that, Dr. Simone. She said, I felt disrespected by you. Simone Jr., otherwise known as Michael, he says, well, I didn't like my tone. I apologize for cursing. Now, I do like this because he should have. He was dead wrong. And Dr. Simone starts to say something. Cecil's like, let him finish. Cecil, you get on my nerves with these boys. Let him finish. And Dr. Simone is saying, pipe down, because you didn't stand up for me that night. And so you can be quiet now, while he's trying to apologize. And I agree with her on that. So they have a much more relaxed dinner. It seems like the boys, now I've seen Simone Jr. online. He does actually have a job. Later on, we're going to see his girlfriend. He's trying to do a little bit better, but I don't know. And then I hear him saying, and then you don't speak for Miles. Miles has a voice, and I actually like Miles a lot better than Simone Jr. He just is not as comfortable speaking on TV and trying to be seen and all this stuff as his younger brother. But he said some things. I want to be turned. This is Michael. I want to be able to do things that y'all weren't even able to do. I want to take y'all places you've never been. I want to show you things you've never had. So Simone and Cecil are just eating it up like, yeah. Y'all, he got a long way to go. It looks like that Dr. Simone's still paying for all their vacations with the girlfriends in tow. But I mean, I do like the fact that he has some kind of goals for his parents. I believe he said he wanted to be a sports agent. We've seen him and Cecil at the Hawks games. So, and I think law school really is another money grab. Haven't heard anything more about it, but if he goes to law school and he becomes a sports agent, if whatever he does, I wish him well. I really do. But Dr. Simone and Cecil are really to blame for what they have done. And then we know after all of that explosive night that they had, he stopped talking to her, and she ended up getting the boy a Tesla after saying, F you, I'm done, and all this kind of stuff. So they redid the scene, essentially. The first scene is still more powerful and more truthful to me, but I don't mind them ending the season on a good note with their sons. That's never bad. So Simone Jr. gives Dr. Simone this fake hug. It was really kind of awkward. Miles gives her a real hug. My favorite mother, he really embraces her, so that was real. Cecil is just a smiling. He's crazy about these boys, y'all. But that's good. That's really sweet. So we get to the Med Gala. It is in an art space called Sinclair. It's beautiful. Camila, something like that, is the owner. Beautiful young sister. She has artwork in there that is gorgeous. I saw a portrait of Dr. Maya Angelou from her Ghana days. Y'all know she lived in Ghana 3 years. If you haven't read her series, read it. It's not just I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, but there's Singing and Swinging and Getting Married Like Christmas. That might be the one that covers when she's in Ghana. She was married to an African diplomat, Vusimi Make, and he was a trip, y'all. And then Gather Together in My Name and Heart of a Woman. So it's a series, and that's some life story, y'all, when you need 4 autobiographies. But I noticed that beautiful portrait of her. What I love, they have an artist in residence. He's going to be there. He's putting down his drop cloth and everything. He's going to work on a piece during the Med Gala. So Met Gala is more and more improved, but they're having problems with it because there's some bad intention there. Again, we know why it started. And then a lot of it is for TV as well. But that doesn't take away the fact that it's beneficial to people. The first one, the proceeds went to the man that lost his wife in childbirth. So that was very valuable. This year they're giving out, we find out during the party that it's 2 scholarships. Now, Toya, you gave away $10,000 after begging for all this money. I'm with Dr. Mimi. We need to see some paperwork. And y'all, one of the texts from Quad was like, the people want to know. And Quad's asking a question. So y'all, that was really funny. Contessa ended up showing up in something that wasn't as horrible as what she was trying on at home, but it's a regular dress. She's carrying a picture frame. So that is the work of art. It's supposed to be wearable art as the theme. I think that was the actual Met Gala in New York that Vogue puts on in Anna Wintour. I think wearable art was their theme. So the Med Gala is just a twist on that. They flip it and reverse it. And it's for the medical community, Med Gala. And the doctors, the nurse practitioners, Atlanta comes out and they show up and they show out. So they are showing up. We find out 2 of the ladies. Oh, I forgot to mention, I don't know why I put this down here, but Dr. Contessa, in speaking to Dr. Scott about Toya, when she said Toya wanted to put her stamp on it, she mentioned leadership should be servant leadership, and Toya wants to be more of a diva. So I agree with Dr. Contessa on that. I don't like the way Toya is handling this whole thing. But again, I blame Dr. Jackie. When they show up, Dr. Eugene has a blazer on. It's supposed to be like a piece of art. I'll just tell y'all now what it's supposed to be. Later on, we see Dr. Simone and Cecil come in. And he said, oh, okay, Fresh Prince. And then I got it. You know how you can't have your own individuality at a school where they wear uniforms? Will Smith in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the reboot and the original, turns his jacket inside out. And that's his way of being. Will's a little bit different than the rest of the kids. So that's what Dr. Eugene is wearing, a blazer that's kind of designed like that. Welcome in, Mama Bees. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. Yes, I know. There's a lot of lives going on. And mine, again, was impromptu and unscheduled. The field trip is canceled because school was canceled. We're getting weather. There's tornado watch until 10:15 my time. So thank the Lord it's already gone on. So Mama Bees came in speaking to everyone, and Kiwan J is speaking to you. She has been in here. Thank you so much. Team Replay, also anyone comes in during the live, click the like button, share, subscribe, helps keep me in the algorithm. If you get access to the hype feature, please let me have one of those. Thank you. So we see Jackie and old long, tall Curtis show up. Curtis, why are your pants unzipped? Jackie, don't you look at this man before he leaves the house? Every week I get more and more disgusted by him. If you watch Kiwan J, one of my fellow content creators, she calls him Big Nasty. And he is. You walking in here, a man your age with your pants unzipped. I don't know what to make of Curtis. So Dr. Jackie and Curtis are kind of walking in with a little bit of trepidation. They're a little afraid of Quad and King. Remember the last time they saw them, old Long Tall showed his tail. He got biblical on King. King was offended, and King just controlled his temper. He didn't go off on Curtis. He stood up for himself. You're not going to weaponize the Bible against me. King was 100% right. Curtis has been dragged all up and down the YouTube streets, rightfully so, and I hope it continues because he was wrong. But they tipping into this party, y'all. They're tipping. Cece, welcome in. Cece is speaking to everyone as she comes in. Thank you for joining me during the Married to Medicine Live. This is the season finale. Oh, you are too, Mama Bees? We having bad weather, so school's closing early. They called off last night. You know, Charlotte has no stomach for that because it's a lot of school buses and some of the unincorporated areas, not good. You know, in North Carolina, you can drive a school bus at age 16. Yeah, that's what the shortage does. They drive to their school. They do their route and they take the school bus home. They drive to school. 16. Keywan J's laughing. Yeah, big nasty, get on my nerves. Mine too. And I was indifferent toward him until he heard Jackie. But again, I couldn't be madder than her. She says it's okay. She just moved him downstairs for a minute. They back. She's still supporting him. So I just have to let it be what it is. 5 likes and 6 in the chat. Thank you so much, CC, for keeping up. My surrounding area has schools closing early today too. Oh Lord, I hope all these little kids get home safely. Yeah, ours never hit the road. And they had a field trip. I was kind of looking forward to that field trip, y'all. A little bit dreading, a little bit looking forward. Oh my God, y'all, the weather dropped to 37 here in Dallas. Keywan J, I know y'all are not used to that. Warm, stay warm. Everybody be safe in this weather. So this is the last scene. We are at the Med Gala. We see the arrivals, people getting out of the car. Y'all, the theme is wearable art. Brandy shows up in a little feather dress. Brandy's so cute, y'all. She said, I thought it was supposed to be wearable art. Everybody got a regular dress on. Shamar, they make a stunning couple. They look like the top of a wedding cake. If it was an avant-garde wedding cake. Because again, she's in the wearable art, black feathers. He is in a white on black tux. It's got the white suit and then it has the black lapel. Cecil wearing something similar, but I like Shamar's and how it fits him. Him and Brandy look adorable. Steve and Mimi hit the door. Dr. Eugene, I hate to scold Dr. Eugene because I like him so much, but Toya just turns this man's head. I don't know what she put on you. Put that big booty on you or something. Because Dr. Eugene, y'all, he is acting a fool. The lady at the door is like, do you have a QR code or something? Steve and Mimi are looking puzzled. I'm looking puzzled too. She said, well, do you have a ticket? Mimi's like, we're part of the invited guests. What she means to say is this is a cast event and I'm on the show. That's what Mimi meant to say, but she brought her Whitley Gilbert out. I'm an special invited guest. Steve's like, what's going on? Here comes Dr. Eugene in his Will Smith jacket. This was very immature, you, Dr. Eugene. Did you buy a ticket? Steve's like, a ticket? Last year we didn't buy no ticket. We get a confessional from Toya and Dr. Eugene. Yeah, this ain't last year. They were breezed in here and they spent $5,000. I told y'all they got a problem with that money that Steve and Mimi dropped on them, the $5,000. So we get a dueling confessional, y'all. Okay, production, dueling confessionals. We get Mimi and Steve. They talking junk. He said, this is short-sighted. So, and the ticket's $150, y'all. That's not a lot. They could have been a cool $200. So they'd rather get $300 instead of being able to get $2,000 or $3,000, $5,000, $15,000, $20,000. Now, Steve, you gave $5 last year, but y'all wasn't giving no $20,000. But I'm sorry, I'm with the Sanders on this. I don't think that any of the groups should buy tickets if they donated their $2,500. Toya didn't even give the first few years of the Met Gala. So Eugene, you wrong. You wrong here. I heard Eugene was tripping. Yeah, Keywan J, the way it was sold, they're saying like, oh, Steve trying to be seen. He went off, which I can believe. Y'all know I think Steve does too much. But it looks like there's some underlying things with this ticket, them trying to embarrass Steve and Mimi during this finale, this last scene being shot for the show. And so Steve, rightfully so, in New York, he gonna do a lot. Now, the only thing I don't like is him calling Dr. Eugene out of his name. He gonna call him Eugene Bush. Steve, please don't do that. The ladies do that. Don't do that. Remember Quad calling him Eugenia? Toya's been mad for years about that. Miss Cece, really? It gets lower sometime. Oh, this was about the Dallas weather. That's real low. I have family in North Dallas and Cedar Hills. Cece, so Cece saying, yeah, confirming. They're not used to that. Yeah, y'all stay warm. Cece, they hated on Phaedra for stroking a check too. What's up with that? It's just jealousy. It's jealousy. What Mary would call hateration in the dancery. Actually, as they were doing the walkthrough, Toya with her petty self said, I started to invite Phaedra. Phaedra's never coming to Married to Medicine anything, and I don't blame her. Don't try to use this lady. I was shocked that she said that, but not surprised because Toya is tacky Toya. So she's saying that she should have invited Phaedra. So now they're all at the door. The Sanders are at the door. It's a standoff at the door. And then Mimi's like, well, we're at Dr. Jackie's table. And Eugene's like, well, the table doesn't really cover the event. Dr. Eugene, I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all, this was kind of embarrassed. Y'all know how the Atlanta guests, they always stand about waiting for something to kick off. And this has kicked off. So I really don't know details of how they got in. Toya lies. She said everybody bought a ticket. Mimi said, from what I'm hearing, that is not the case. And I don't believe everybody bought a ticket either, y'all. Do you think Dr. Jackie bought a ticket, or Heavenly, any of them? I don't think anybody else bought a ticket. Quad shows up without King. King's at a wedding. Y'all, I think Quad was lying. Quad, you better stop lying, because I don't believe a word comes out of your mouth. She said he's at a wedding. King shows up later. He was dressed, but King, you had on white. Were you at a wedding or not? I think they just arrived separately, y'all. Because if he were at a wedding, men don't wear white to a wedding. I've known some petty women to do that. Sometimes the mother of the bride, y'all. I was at one, the mother of the bride. Come on, lady. But I've seen some of them do that. Ivory, all kind of stuff. So this is stupid. Steve was saying that there was no communication, that you're going to need a ticket. It's personal. Dr. Eugene, you making me agree with Steve Sanders. It is personal. Keywan JTV says, it seems like the Harris family expectations was high for them not to show up in the past years. Exactly, Keywan J. It's like they want to be treated differently than the way they treated other people. Toya even said, when they first were at Dr. Jackie's photo shoot, well, now that I'm in charge, I hope that everybody's going to put the past in the past and bygones are bygones. I didn't like that. So Toya's lying. The tickets go directly to the scholarships. And the Sanders still maintain they didn't hear nothing about a ticket. We can pay that now. I guess they paid to get in. And Dr. Eugene's in the confessional. Now, Dr. Eugene, I knew you were petty, because Toya's petty, and sometimes opposites attract, other times like attract. So he's saying, well, you know, you were in the NFL, and when people came to see you play, now we know why Dr. Eugene's doing all this. Evidently, Steve was not, he was no Jalen Hurts. That doesn't matter. It's an incredible feat to make it to the NFL. But Dr. Eugene is saying, when people came to see you play, everybody in that stadium bought a ticket. I would have just paid the money. One of y'all just tap your phone and go ahead and get him $300 for Toya's pocketbook. So all the group are together. They're talking. The Sanders are finally let in. I feel like never embarrass a guest. I don't care who it was. If you don't like them that much, then they shouldn't have been invited. But again, it's a cast thing. So I didn't like the way they went. Dr. Contessa is in a dress that's not as horrible as the one she tried on, but it's not wearable art. She just has a picture frame with her, and she's going, wearable art, wearable art. And she's taking pictures. Production is showing us the pictures, and y'all, they are coming out cute, but Dr. Contessa, y'all know I think she's corny, but she is so funny when she does certain things like this. She can get on my nerves too. Now, Dr. Contessa, you're going to keep picking at Brandy. I take Brandy's side against Contessa. But when Dr. Contessa's being Dr. Contessa, I laugh. Dr. Mimi, y'all, she's been in nonprofit for 10 years. She going through, you serve chicken wings, you're going to get chicken wing money. Remember, there's like an auction feature too. This is another reason I'm suspicious of Toya. You've raised $10,000. You're only giving out 2 scholarships, and then you have auction type thing again. What happens with the auction money? Cecil is shown chowing down on a chicken wing. This is really cheap food. Dr. Mimi said this is pennies on the dollar, 15 cents a wing. Now, Mimi, those are old prices. You can't get wings for that now. Come on. So this has caused a problem at the door. Quad's line telling us that she wished that they could have arrived together, but King is at the wedding. And then, I don't know. I would like to know how much Toya actually spent on the entire event. So the Sanders and the Harrises, this is where this feud wasn't where it was born, because we did see Mimi kind of picking at Toya throughout the season. This is where it exploded, and then the husbands have really gotten into it. And then we see Dr. Heavenly and Damon come in. Oh, also in that confessional, y'all, this is how I know the Harrises might be a little threatened or jealous of the Sanders. We get the NFL comment that Dr. Eugene says about Steve. When people were paying to see you, everybody bought a ticket. And then he says, Toya says, if authentic, those little outfits of his are $5,000. Now, we all make fun of Steve's Louis. I am not a designer girl. I could not tell you anything. I've never spent that on any item of clothing, bag, none of that, shoes, because I don't care about it like that. So Toya, I don't know if they're authentic or not. Why are you saying this about Steve? And stop counting these people pockets. They have a lucrative, thriving medical business. Dr. Mimi is a very successful therapist. He is her partner in that business. I didn't like this. Same way I don't like when Dr. Heavenly tells Toya, you're not good at business. You can't do this. You can't do that. I don't want them tearing down each other's business. But the Harrises get a confessional where they speculate about how much he spends on the outfits, if authentic. That was really nasty, and it was uncalled for. So Mimi standing there with her little lemon martini or whatever she's drinking. I don't know who's going to win this, y'all. I don't know. So Mimi is saying that all of that could have been paid toward the scholarship. And Steve is still maintaining that nobody else bought a ticket to the event. I'm inclined to still, I agree with them. Toya did that last minute. And Steve just says it's wrong. You did it last minute. It's personal, that they were trying to embarrass them. And I agree. You know who never came over, even though they're there? Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie, this is your fault. You set this up. You set this up. You see how Dr. Jackie will weaponize people against each other? She put Toya in that role to embarrass Toya, to teach her a lesson, just like she told Dr. Heavenly, and then lied and didn't say she said. So this is wrong. King finally comes in. Quad tell him he's looking very handsome. So I feel like, I don't know that he was at a wedding. As I said, he was in white. And let's see, we got Quad in a confessional. Production is asking about, oh, this is what happened. When King came in, he and Quad embraced, they greet each other. Curtis and Jackie finally meet up with King and Quad, and we get to see them talk to each other. Curtis like, you know, you my girl. We've been all together a long time. I've known you a long time. And King's like, that's why I was saying, why is he coming at me like this? Y'all, it was very tame. It was kind of a letdown. I didn't want them to fight or argue or anything like that. I just feel like old long tall Curtis was so out of line. He needed to be put back in his place in the way that I know Quad could do. King, I could understand him kind of just giving him a little bit of grace for being on vacation and not trying to turn out that event. But I just feel like Long Tall Curtis got off easy. He could have been dragged a lot more, and he just was not. So I don't like that. I don't like it. Next, we get the scholarship event. All of the ladies come. They take the stage. Toya thanks everybody for coming. We find out that the amount of the tickets is $10,000. This is where I was still confused. How do y'all go from $100,000 last year, even though Phaedra wrote a check to make up the amount? You go from $100,000 to two $5,000 scholarships. I mean, this is a blessing for the two young ladies, Bethany and Morgan. And they were crying. They were giving a little speech. I thought it was wonderful. Now, Toya says, and she's a single mother. Toya, don't tell all this girl's business. I'm just proud of both of them. My medical field girl is, I never had a brain for science or anything like that. So when I see us in the medical field, knowing what it means for us and the treatment that we receive, I'm so proud of them. I thought that was really sweet. Toya, I don't like the fact you spending money on other things. This is allegedly, and in my opinion, I think she could have did a lot better. I do. Keywan J says, it seems like the Harris family. Oh, okay. We already went over. Yeah, I'm sorry. I read that already. Yeah, I think Dr. Eugene is wrong. He should have checked Toya on this. I don't like that. Morgan's thanking everybody. That's one of the young ladies. She can't express how much that means to her. We got Dr. Contessa in a confessional saying that this touched her heart because she knows how much she struggled in medical school. That's another reason I love Dr. Contessa's, what she projects on screen so much, other than when she's being a fool over Scott. I can't stand that. And the only thing I don't like about her is when she's being a pick-me for Dr. Scott. But Dr. Contessa came up really hard, lost her mom at an early age. They had to care for her mom at home. She died of cancer, aggressive cancer. Contessa has told this story, and she's told it to Heavenly. And Dr. Heavenly has spread all her business before. So I do really love that these two young ladies got these scholarships. Again, it's kind of the conversation between Dr. Jackie King, Dr. Jackie King, Quad, and Dr. Jackie King, Quad, and old Long Tall Curtis was kind of a letdown. He apologized, but he started that bull apology. I just wanted to, if I, and Dr. Jackie said, no, we're not going to say if I offended. We offended and we apologize. So, Dr. Jackie, you're getting better with the apology. I do like that. Y'all, I saw old Gary with the tea back there talking to old Long Tall. I can't stand him. I know his job is gossip, but over there on Ricky Smiley, he just gets on my nerves. I love when the brat wraps him up. The brat, she had to gather him one morning. More than one morning, but I don't like Gary. He's over there at the party. Gary, how much did you give? So, Heavenly, all of the men, Steve. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. This is the reunion. My notes are running together. That was the end of the gala. They all start dancing. Y'all, why is Quad begging King to dance? Did you want to dance? This man said, not right now. When are you going to dance, King? This is the end. This is the finale. Both of y'all are dressed up. You look good. You still under contract. We don't know. We don't know. King, did you pull a TJ? We don't know. Not right now. He won't even dance with Quad. We get production asking Quad in her final solo confessional. So where do you see things going with you and King? She don't know. We see things going with the baby quest. She don't know. Quad sitting there with the mirror in front of her face, touching herself up. Quad is ready to get out of there. She's hush mouth, no Tubi acting. Quad, we pretty much knew you could have gave us the breakup storyline this season because I don't want to see this ninja back. Bye, King. We don't need anything more from you. You have fulfilled your contract. You would no longer be needed. Now we'll see him at the reunion. This is where I took a few notes for the reunion. They released a little 2-minute, minute and a half, 2-minute, 3-minute preview. This is where we see Steve and Dr. Eugene getting into it. I didn't understand it. I watched that little preview before I watched the finale, and I said, Steve trying to be seen. Why is he doing all this? I get why he's doing all this. Again, Steve was upset. He's like, we're out because my wife was excluded. This happened in Jamaica. They knew this. So for Dr. Eugene to act like the Sanders just don't want to give and we don't know why, now we know that there was more to it with the tickets, them trying to humiliate the Sanders at the door for this cast event. And Toya, Mimi need to pull her little finance degree out and start talking to you about how you just ended up with $10,000 down from $100,000 last year, because I think you just go up and up and up. So now I'm questioning Toya, and I don't want to do that. Dr. Simone is getting activated by Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly, why are you still lying? This girl grabbed my arm. She did not grab your arm. She moved your arm off her. Simone is saying, why is this girl so delusional? You touched me, at the top of her lungs. Andy is asking Simone, so are you ever going to get back with, I guess, Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly? Dr. Simone is crying her foundation off. There's never going to be a situation where we're together. I don't think it's her and Dr. Jackie. I think it's Dr. Heavenly Dr. Simone is speaking of, because we know that Dr. Heavenly really did lie on Simone. When I look at that scene again, y'all, in addition to Contessa standing right there at the picture, Dr. Mimi was there as well. Dr. Mimi, you always want to correct Toya, who is tacky, who is a chaos agent. So is Dr. Heavenly. That's why I question Dr. Mimi. I really do. Thank you, CC. Housekeeping. Please like, share, subscribe to enjoy all the amazing content. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So this reunion, it's the end of the month. I don't know if it's this week or the following week, but it's going to be really good. We see Steve saying, I see who you are. I see what you do. He and Eugene were getting into it backstage, and then on the stage, Steve is dressed like a birthday cake. He has very light ivory on with gold on it. And he says, you are Eugene Bush. So he calls Dr. Eugene by Toya's last name, meaning she wears the pants in the family. We don't like that too much, Steve. Cecil said, oh, now we're not going to do that. Y'all, this is too much. Dr. Heavenly is sitting there with her. We did the looks. I don't know that little hairstyle that she's doing, y'all. This is a trip. So this is going to be a pretty good reunion. I think they said it's a 2-part reunion. That's all we needed. It was a very good season, but I think they squeezed three parts out of these other shows. It's not really needed. And then the funny part was Andy's asking Heavenly, well, if you win this, are you going to come, you not coming back? Something like that. Contessa says, oh, I guess this is it. Contessa, you shady. We see what you're doing. And Andy said, oh, you want to write her out right now? You're going to do a package for her right now? Andy starts laughing. And Dr. Simone tells Andy, I don't like all that eye rolling. I agree, Simone. Andy, if you want somebody else to do it, we've told you through all the different reunions, get somebody else to do it. Please. We don't like, I'm moving on, and then cutting people off when they get ready to get to the meat of the problem. But this was a really good episode. I guess I'll give it an 8 because it's the finale. Anything after the couple trip, after vacation, is kind of a letdown. But we get more insight into what's going on between the Sanders versus the Harrises. Now, the ladies, I won't blame this on them because the ladies started out down the middle with 2 teams at the beginning of the season. But Dr. Eugene, I didn't like how you moved with these 2 at the door, trying to embarrass them at your event. And Dr. Jackie, you were there. Why didn't you and Curtis come over there? The thing I don't like, a lot of these couples, the elder couples, are not peacemakers. And Steve, I thought you were going to try to be that. How are you going to get into it so deep with one of the men where you're not going to be able to make things right again? You knew Mimi and Toya don't really like each other. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to the reunion. Thank you for coming in during the live. Team Replay, thank you so much for coming in after the live and being Team Replay. Like the video, please. Subscribe, share, hype if you get that option, if you're watching on Team Replay. And y'all, I'll see you in the YouTube streets. I already had a pre-scheduled political discourse where I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on Target, Giselle's ex-husband trying to bamboozle us with the Target situation. If you want to shop there, shop there. If you don't, don't. But don't go around and tell people that you started this boycott and you did not, Pastor Holy Whore. We don't like that. I haven't watched yet. I probably don't need to after your detailed recap. Thank you, CC. It was pretty good. I mean, they kind of wrap it up with a bow. So I'm mainly now really looking forward to this reunion because I want to see what else goes on. But they do fill in why Steve and Dr. Eugene are getting into it. Steve didn't come out of nowhere and just try to be seen. Dr. Eugene really tried it we know Steve is sensitive to Dr. Mimi. Like you're not going to disrespect his wife. So Dr. Eugene, he really tried it. And Steve and Dr. Mimi going to put him in his place. Replay gang, hit the like button, drop a comment. Let's hype this video up. Be blessed, everyone. Yes, stay safe in the weather, everyone. Stay warm. For those of you that the temperature has dropped, the tornado warning has passed us, and now the kids are just home doing their thing. So I'll see you in the YouTube streets. It's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where we do a political discourse, multiple topics, but mainly I'm a drag past the Holy Whore. I don't like the way he moved on this and stepped on a boycott that wasn't even his. You said you were fasting. Go ahead and fast. Leave the rest of us alone. Everybody, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the YouTube streets. Bye.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you? That I don't think that he's good. That I